All right, so Amanda, thank you so much for joining me. I am so excited for everyone to learn about your business and what you've been up to lately. So I'm going to pass it over to you. Tell us about your business. What inspired you to start it? You've gone through so much life and you're helping so many people, but in your words, tell us more.
It's not something that I ever really planned on, to be honest. I worked at the government for many years, and I'm very proud of the work that we did and how we helped families. However, the conditions and dynamics and bureaucracy and scheduling was just something that wasn't working with me and my life, especially during COVID. So I decided to walk away from it. I quit with no job lined up and
Wow.
completely went out on my own because I just hit a point that this just wasn't working for me. So working in crisis, it takes a toll on you. And I always did want to do something with grief. Obviously, I've had a lot of personal experiences. I also just think grief is a part of the human experience that we all have to go through. And there's lots of potential for growth. There's lots of potential for change. And I think it's also important to honor that pain and that loss. And I really appreciate being able to help people with that.
Yeah, yeah. And the services that you offer people. I know you're virtual primarily right now. The mental health space, I know you and I have talked about this, but we're in a crisis right now and people need support in so many ways. And the fact that you have a specialization and you're doing so much with that, but also, again, your experience. And I think it makes you a bit of a different, is it a psychotherapist, a social worker?
So my background is in social work. I have a master's in social work, and in Ontario, social workers can practice psychotherapy.
Okay.
So I offer both, which I think is helpful, especially for clients with insurance. So I always tell people to check with their insurance, but you can also get out of both pockets, make it stretch a little bit more. So that's helpful too.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, so you're running a business, is it what you thought it was going to be?
No.
What's the reality? Tell us.
The reality is, I didn't really know what to expect, to be honest. I didn't really know what to expect, but I think what I have enjoyed most is the ability to control my own schedule, to control my caseload, to preserve my energy when I'm dealing with clients who are suffering in a greater way. It was definitely not at all what I expected. I was very nervous about the logistics, about the business side, because as I think most people would know, there's literally no business classes or anything taught in, at least in my education, around how to do any of this.
Yeah.
I just got the clinical side. I think what was easiest was just being able to work at a pace that was slower. I just worked in crisis intervention for so many years. Actually, it was almost like a shock, I think, to my nervous system to be not dealing with crisis every day and having set hours because I was on call.
It was like a full 360 for so many pieces of your life. And
oh my God,
everything, right? You're still doing the social work psychotherapy, but like completely different kind of practice of it. And it sounds like it's a little bit easier or better for a lifestyle and just being able to help in a different way. Yeah. And different demographic too, right?
Absolutely. So I was working with underprivileged at-risk communities with limited resources, and it's incredibly rewarding work, but it's very challenging for lots of reasons. And this is a completely different population, and I find the support needed is so much less than what I'm used to.
Yeah, it's a completely different kind of support. So in terms of the types of clients that you're working with right now, like a demographic that you see or a specific pain point that you see a lot of your clients coming in for?
So I've never really targeted specifically, which is something I'm working on with you. But typically the people that come to me, I would say the majority are probably in their late 30s, late 40s, either with a very big loss of someone close to them, or a large part of also what I see is just loss in general, a loss of a relationship, And probably the most common thing is just a loss of what they expected life to be. They conquered everything they wanted to, picket fence, marriage, kids, travel, etc. And it's just not satisfying. And I think that's a big market right now.
Yeah, I think it's like we're always looking for more and more. And I'm sure social media and all the things that are impacting those conversations and thoughts. It's like always in our heads, it's, oh, I don't have my Lamborghini yet, or now I have my Lambo, and my 6 mansions across the world. It's like, when is it ever enough?
When I was literally just thinking that before you said that, when is it enough? I find with social media, I mean, I think there's a lot of benefits, and apparently I'm supposed to be posting more. But I find there's a lot of toxic positivity and pressure on these self-care routines. We're all not waking up at 5 a.m. and running a marathon and journaling and meditating. Like, it's just not going to happen. So I think it's really important to be realistic and work with people with where they're at, and just build on that.
So just going back to the comment you made about you got, I think, 0 training on the business side. So I've made jokes that my tagline for my business should be something along the lines of, you're really good at what you do, you've just never been trained in business. It's literally every single one of my clients. It's either they had an hour of training on business or 0 or whatever it is. So yeah, of course, like, why would you have training? This is your specialty. You're not trained on how to do the other pieces, and that's why people hire people. But I think it's incredible that people take that initiative and get started and figure it out. You're figuring things out and you're improving things as you go. And that's what entrepreneurship is. It's constantly evolving and improving. But was there ever a moment for you that you're like, this isn't going to work out, I have to go back to an agency, or any of those thoughts?
Ooh, I don't know if I've ever thought that, to be honest.
No, that's great. That means you're doing okay.
I think the only time I really thought that was when I was juggling some personal responsibilities. So I am a caregiver for several family members. I have been for almost 10 years. And there's obviously ebbs and flows with that, which is what I see with my clients. And so I do think there have been times where it's hard to juggle both, where I'm like, oh, if I had my old job, I would just get a doctor's note and chill out for a month or whatever it is. And that's just not possible. While that was a fleeting thought, I think for me, what helped is honestly having to work with the business and with my clients when I was dealing with those other things. I find it actually balances. It's almost like a version of self-care, I think, honestly.
Yeah. I love that for you. I think whatever you need to do that is helpful to get through whatever life is throwing at you, you're probably the person that knows this more than I do, but throwing yourself into work, I think a lot of people do that to get through things, but it's life. We all go through so much. So it's like, however you need to manage that, build your business, grow your business. Maybe that's the positive that comes out of some of these things, is that it helps you long term.
Yeah, I think it's also, obviously, I hear so many really horrific stories and experiences that people have. And I think the offshoot of that is it really changes your perspective and gives you a lot of gratitude. So regardless of what's happening with me, it's honestly really inspiring what people have to do with so little. And yeah, it's just a pleasure to be able to help where I can.
Oh, I love that. So what's something about being a business owner that people don't see from the outside?
I'll say for me personally, I don't know about everyone else, but my strengths don't really lie in technology. And I would say that's probably been a bit of a challenge for me, just in terms of the accounting systems, trying to figure out Claude, trying to make posts, trying to do video. Like, it's all new to me. So I think that's probably pretty challenging.
Yeah,
but I think I'm kind of getting the hang of it. We'll see.
Yeah, it takes time. You got to keep playing around with all the systems, and literally every day there's a new platform to be learning. So
I think actually, sorry to interrupt, but I think another thing that I just remembered is I think what's challenging is not knowing what to prioritize, which there's just so many options of ways that I could advertise, educate, different offshoots of the business. And I love having all of these ideas, but it's really hard to know what is going to land the best and what is going to get the best outcome.
Yeah.
And honestly, that's why I reached out to you, because it is like honestly a different language. And it really helps in our sessions to help prioritize. First of all, just educate me on what the options are, which obviously I'm not completely aware of, and just help me prioritize so that I think before I was spending a lot of time trying to figure out what to do, which in retrospect, I don't want to say it's a waste, but it was not the best use of my time.
Yeah.
And now since meeting with you, I feel like I'm more productive and able to prioritize what is actually needed.
Oh, good. I appreciate that feedback. But I definitely, like on the marketing front, it's so overwhelming. There's the digital, there's the out of home, there's networking, there's the referrals. There's so many different kinds of ways of marketing that people get really stuck, even just on the digital front. And I know we've talked about the in-person, whether it's networking or connecting with new groups in that world, because there's so much opportunity to get your name out there and build the community and the trust with people around you, especially the industry that you're in. People need to trust the person that they're either referring over or feel confident with that. And so I think there's a digital side, which I think great to see who you are, your voice, your personality, like the person behind the brand that you're building. I also understand the discomfort with doing videos online because it's not for everybody.
Correct.
And honestly, this is why I started these, is because I didn't want to be on camera alone. Like,
oh my gosh, this is, yeah.
And so I was invited to another podcast. That was how I first started getting online. And I was like, oh, if I do this with somebody else, it's not just me, it's with somebody, it's not just my face. It gave me that bump to do things. And I think for you, it's like you're going to probably see some benefit of having your face and personality out there. And then give some more of that confidence to start doing some more videos. And you never know what will happen.
That is the plan. So between that and some blog posts, I think that's where I'm going to be focusing.
Yeah, let's drive some traffic to your website.
Yes.
All right. So what keeps you going on the tough days?
Ooh, my clients. What keeps me going? Coffee. Outside of work, I try to lift weights 3 to 4 times a week. And especially now, since we have 6 weeks of sunshine in Canada, I'm going to be trying to get my steps in and some vitamin D where I can. And I just make sure to block time away from work. I think with being an entrepreneur, there's no 9 to 5, Monday to Friday. I find your mind is just always, I'll be on the couch at 11 o'clock at night and have an idea for something. It just doesn't turn off. And that I find is a little bit, I wouldn't say challenging, but given how much I know about self-care, I try really hard to counteract that. So I just want to not get swallowed up by all of the things needed to run the business.
Yeah. If you come across any tips or tricks on how to stop that brain from going, please pass that over, because
maybe I'll make a video on it.
It's something that I'm constantly working on, is just doing nothing. And I've learned that if you're somebody like me, that it gives them more anxiety to sit on a couch and watch TV, and you're like, I should just go and do work. Just go and do that work. It's like, I feel like it's more harm for me to be sitting there doing nothing than it is for me to just go and do it. And I feel fulfilled and like all of these things that I just like, I needed to do it. So just get it done. But I understand, turning it off.
It just reminds me, this comes up a lot with work and probably people I know as well. I find the Sunday Scaries is a real phenomenon. People really for lots of different reasons, get overwhelmed about what's to come the next day. And I find a lot of people get the message, it's not healthy to work outside of business hours. Don't check your email, wait till 9 o'clock, close your computer all weekend. But honestly, I think for some people, it just raises more anxiety. What am I going to walk into Monday morning? What disasters are there? What emails do I have to follow up with? So I always tell people, if it makes you feel better to do it on a Sunday night or Saturday morning, whatever it is, do it. Break some of the rules of this mainstream society that I think we're all conditioned to be in.
100%. That's it. It's like just going back to anxiety as a whole. If you figure out what's causing the anxiety, like work on that piece and get rid of it. So it's just like, if that's what you feel better, just check those emails. So I appreciate it. Okay, so is there anything that you're excited about that you're currently working on that you want to share?
I think you know what that is. I recently it's actually almost been a year that I've been trained in EMDR. So I'm very excited about this. I'm going to hopefully be making some more posts about it. But what I like about it is that it's very evidence-based. There's lots of research. It's been around for decades. It's a very prescriptive intervention. And it really addresses the core root of what your symptoms are. So their theory is that whatever you're dealing with day to day, it's most likely a result of some unprocessed or stuck memory. And the idea is to target those memories. So it's really interesting. I'm learning a lot about it. I actually just did training on EMDR specifically for grief last week, which was so interesting. So yes, I'm going to be offering this more to clients. And I think it's seeing clients make realizations in real time in session is so satisfying and something that you don't always get, right? Not every therapy session is going to change your life. So I find that definitely happens a lot more with EMDR. So I'm very excited about it.
I love that. I feel like I need some EMDR in my life.
Yeah.
All right, Amanda. So if somebody wanted to get in contact with you, how can they reach you?
So my website is loveandlosstherapy.com. I have a listing on Psychology Today and an Instagram account, Love and Lost Therapy as well.
Amazing. And I'll link it below. All right. Thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate your time. And if you guys need some support, reach out to Amanda. She's amazing.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.